Peace and Black Power, family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio. Place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born Alive. We're here with a visionary who uses light, art, sound, color, and literacy to make a transformational shift between where we were and reuniting us with who we are. So we got the author, we got the magician, we got the motivational coach. we got the earth shaker. We got the transformationist in the building. We got author and CEO of Nicey Publishing, Eric Nicey, in the building. Welcome to the platform. Welcome to the show, bro. How you feeling today?
I'm doing well. What about yourself?
I'm good. I'm trying to be like you. You just got that I'm an African shirt on. You know what I'm saying? I got a little Muhammad Ali over here. I'm on my way. I need to give you some of that good right there, man.
You African?
That's right. That's right. So how did you get started with this whole concept? Kind of, walk us through this journey of, what you had in your mind to what we now see today.
Well, I would say, I kind of just want to talk about myself a little bit so people can understand where the information and the book and stuff is coming from. I would say I always loved writing. I always loved to write. And I went to, when I got older, I went to school or whatever. Went to Baldwin Agricultural College in Tifton, graduated with an Associate of Arts in journalism. And then I went to Columbus State, graduated in 2016 with a communications degree. And I'm just telling this because it says Nicey Publishing. So, people have to know that you are familiar with writing and things like that. But I'll say that I came into consciousness, African consciousness, probably about 3 or 4 years ago. And recently I kind of, have been having the thought of writing a book. And I said, what is something that can kind of unite us? And we need to start from the bottom because there are others who are able to get to our children first, and they get to those minds and then they're able to use them instead of us being able to use our children's minds to help us. So I want to, write something that will unite us and unite our children. And then that's how I Find I Am African book series came to be.
So what did you see out there in regards to journalism, in regards to communication? What did you meet in regards to our narrative? How are we being presented through the world, and what kind of lens and how important would you say journalism and communication is, in regards to painting and shaping our narrative?
Well, I would say that I wrote for a few newspapers, wrote for the school newspaper and stuff like that. I'm going to be honest, and in that type of thing, like, especially if it's something positive for us. But I would say a lot of the things that I saw was just our people kind of being out of reality of our particular and condition. It wasn't like our people doing much. They weren't writing stories for us children. They don't really have many Black children's books that are really positive. There are some that are out there, but that's not connecting us as a whole, as a people. And I felt like that's something that I could contribute to, because we have to be connected as a whole, within the world, how things are shaping right now. So that's kind of, backstory on that field and, my reasoning want to come up with the book.
So what was it about the children's book that kind of pushed you and thrusted you into children? Because you could have wrote for any kind of different graphic. What is it about African children that pushed you in that particular lane?
I don't know, man. I always liked children, though, to be honest. I haven't been around them a lot, but I mean, some reason they always liked me for some reason. But I've always liked children. But I guess you may try to teach them some knowledge of self, man, and somebody might not want that. Anyways, but it was just that, as I said, I kind of felt like we got to start from the root with some things because it's going to be difficult to change something, once they become an adult and they've been through these manipulations. It's easier to get to the children, and then they can have some pride. It can give them something. It can give them African stories, Black stories, you know what I mean? Where they are able to see themselves and they can have some pride. So I felt like that was another reason why I wanted to write the book.
So walk us through the book process, and then how did the book process lead to the publishing process?
Okay, so I just started just writing a book, man. I started writing, in my phone notes. I was writing on the laptop, and stuff was just coming to me, man. And I was doing that, and then from there, I had published a book before. Really didn't like that book. I really didn't feel like it was me, you know. But I kind of had that little experience from doing that. So, from there, I did all the editing and all that stuff. Contacted the person who did the illustrations, uh, and I kind of knew the process from getting it on Amazon and all that. And I knew a few publishers, so I was able to contact them, and from there just get it printed. And like I said, with Nicey Publishing, I kind of help people with book writing, book editing, and then getting their books, kind of on different platforms. Because, like I said, this is my second book, and uh, the second edition will be coming out in a few months, and then the third, last edition of the book series of How I Found Out I'm African should be coming out in like 12 months to a year. So that's kind of the book publishing process for it.
So during this process of writing this book, well, let's go to the book actually being out. You got the physical copy in your hand. Where are you now versus, you said you didn't like the first book that you came out with. You know, what is it now? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you got your older child, and now you got your baby child. You understand? How much did you grow? What did you learn? What was your feelings like? Putting this book out right now.
Man, man, I was nowhere near. I won't say like I've done a bunch of stuff, but I was nowhere near the mindset that I have now. With having consciousness, I didn't have consciousness. It was more so of a generic book, but in comparison to now, it was something. Now, what I wrote, I feel it. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
know that it's needed, and I really feel it. I was happy about when I finished it. I said, "This is going to help me." You know what I mean? And
Right.
I felt good about it.
Okay. So your book is out. You pushing the book around. What's the reception been like for the book since you done had the book out?
Yeah, people are really liking it, man. They're really telling me that it's really unique. It's a different kind of book in terms of getting our children to see who they are, because you have a lot of things out about our people seeing themselves as African. All the stuff that they have out, and all the stuff we dealt with being young and stuff, with people getting us to insult ourselves and our culture and all this stuff, that people don't want to, say that they're African. And I think that based on, a lot of people for the people ordering the book, they really felt like it was something different that can kind of help our children, have some pride. So that's kind of the reception I've been getting. Somebody told me, they were like, "Man, this is nice. This is different." So that's kind of the reception. People are really feeling like this is a unique type of book, and I think that it is. And I think that it can help on various levels.
That's beautiful right there. That's beautiful. Any thoughts to some anime, to go with the book?
Dang, man. I actually thought about that, man. I thought about that a few months ago. But man, you gotta make sure, I got a course of Black illustrator. You gotta pay for those rights, man. And it can be a bit, especially you know what I mean? So we'll see down the line. I might have to talk, to my illustrator, see about that. But that is a great idea. It is.
It's not enough anime out there for us. There's not enough. There's never enough books out there for us, especially for young people. And younger people need to get into writing books. Something that will outlast them. Everybody that's a child know the same stories. So it can never be a time in your mind where you're saying like, are people actually going to keep on reading this and blah, 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 and this and this and this. They pass these things down from generation to generation. We know about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. We know about the Three Little Pigs and all that other stuff. And whoever those things was that wrote that stuff didn't give two damns about us at all. You understand what I'm saying? But we know their story, right? It sounds familiar. Like we know their story better than we know our own story because our stories are no longer being told to us. You see what I'm saying? And then when they're told to us, they're not told from us. They're told to us by people who aren't us. So there's never enough opportunities for stories to be told, especially those that paint us in the light where you can see yourself in a level of distinction, set apart from other people. You don't have to try to fit into their stories. You see what I'm saying? You have your own story, as you should. They have their own story. You have your own story, So just looking at that and then, seeking out some people who might already did the heavy lifting in the anime department that do the anime. You see what I'm saying? And see how y'all can work your visions together to make it work and it'll be something that's to your liking, in your vision, in your mind, versus you trying to do the writing, you publishing people over here. So you got to go from thinking out of just your mind as an author to thinking as a CEO of a company, and then also a publisher guiding authors through a path to make their vision see fit with the kind of service that you're going to provide, so you can have repeat customers and also referral customers. So this edition right here, before we get into what you got on your chest right now, these are all of the things that you look to, strategize and come up with a plan to kind of roll out as an addendum. If the people aren't reading, if they aren't reading to their children, if their children aren't reading, they can see something and that might inspire them to go read the book. Like, oh, I saw the characters and blah, 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 and that, we want to be the personages. Otherwise, they wouldn't. Like, it's almost Halloween. Whether we celebrate it or not, our children are going to be walking around with European costumes on. You understand what I'm saying? So if these characters take on a life of their own, your children, our children will be walking around. Everybody's T'Challa. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody's T'Challa. Like, so it's like, okay, we're T'Challa, but who's making the T'Challa? Who's making the mask? All that are going on. So someone else is in control of that, and they're pushing that narrative. Who made the movie? Who made the money off of it? Who's making the apparel? All of those things. Like, so it was like a big tug of war about stuff that didn't mean anything. Because if we would have made all of the clothes that everybody wore to the movie, If we would have made all of the drums that everybody was interested in and all those things that was going on, we'd be good. You know, we'd be good. So coming around into this point, looking at it and taking a lesson from it, we thankful for the lesson, and we say, okay, we can approach a situation like this. So, you have what you have on your chest, and you could think about the characters, your shirt, there's their own little story on the side, spin-offs that could happen, that, further character develop each character. There's a world that you can play in. You see what I'm saying? You have your own universe. Marvel started from a story, one damn story. You see what I'm saying? One story. And then a black man saved that entire franchise.
That's what they
Blade. You see what I'm saying? So that Blade trilogy saved that franchise. Now he ain't even nowhere in the scene, and none of us are in the scene. You see what I'm saying? So, it's kind of like the election that you got going on. You see what I'm saying? They use you and then they lose you somewhere in the stack. But if you control your narrative, you control your story, you control your vision, you can take your vision everywhere. You can take your vision everywhere. They got Comic-Con, they got all of these instances where you can go, you and your illustrator and have they got Afrofuturism, they got all of these things that are there. So there's a myriad of ways to approach this situation for you to get what you have, get your products and services to market. You see what I'm saying? So you could go up to, you see all these characters at these Afrofuture events and Comic-Con and stuff like that. Like, hey, you ever think about writing a book?
I haven't, but I might.
What I'm saying, like, so how many people can you connect with for what you already do? You understand what I'm saying? That can help you cut that learning curve or that financial curve in half to do what you need to do because you're writing books and because you publish books and you help people publish books. So you can work with these first-time authors. That can be a niche. You can have some training courses where you train people on how to edit, how to do this, how to do that. All of these things are things that can. You understand?
Let me get me.
So, just look at it and see what it is. So you brought these characters alive from your mind to the page, and from that, how did it come into the concept to where you push your brand now on apparel?
Well, man, sometimes the ancestors just bring stuff on you. And I was thinking to myself, the book says how I find out I'm African. So what's going to come out of the book? The children saying, I'm African. I'm proud of who I am. I know my history. I know my stories. And like that. Hey, why not? I'm African. If you're proud of being African, you would want something that says you're African. So, that's all that, came out to be with the apparel and stuff. And I wanted to let people know, I know that's something you had already saw, but, I have the hoodies, as well. And everything is pretty quality and it's getting cold. You know what I mean? So you might want something you can say who you are with some style, and that's going to do it. But, there's the white ones, there's the black ones. Like I said, they pretty quality now. You ain't going to buy no, you're going to get what you, pay for with your money, and you'll be proud of what you get, It's the ladies, the mans, hey, the brothers and the sisters, got something, for everyone. And you got the black children, man, with the How I Find Out I'm African book. So hey, it's the whole black family, there. So and it kind of has the breakdown. It has the breakdown of the book, its purpose, and all of that on the website. So you can see all of that. If you're interested in the book, you can see the breakdown of everything, what it's about, and all of that. And for those,
Got a book and flashcards? Hold up. Hold up. Yeah. They need to know that. You got a book and flashcards. Okay.
yeah, got the flashcards right here that comes automatically with the book for the memory retention for our children with everything that's in the book. This one right here is the Monuments of Zimbabwe, but I do have the cards that come with it as well. So yes, sir. And I wanted to say one more thing that if people want to see a preview of the book, they can go on Amazon and download a preview on Kindle and kind of see the first few pages and how they like it for their children and stuff like that. I would prefer they buy it from my site because you know how things get. Somebody can get a book and sell a book, so it's easier, to get it straight from the author. It's easier that way, for you and for me. Make sure you're getting what you're supposed to get. But anyway,
Right.
so.
Alright, so I'm waiting for this thing to load back up. Back over here on this home page.
Gotcha. And
so we've seen the book. What's going on with that?
There we go. One thing else I wanted to mention also for the parents that if they want to buy the book, the age range is from 8 to 12, and then the grade level is from like 3rd to 7th grade. If they want to keep their children on track with what's going on in those schools as well, they may have to do that. So what's that age range from 8 to 12? Is the age range.
Look at this. They got reviews up here. Okay.
Just a few, man.
I love the How I Found Out I'm African book. It's just what our children need. It got me by the title. The book is just as good as its name. Thanks, Eric. You see that? Satisfied customer up here leaving reviews. All right. I love the I am African t-shirt and the message. I am a black woman. 5'6", 170. The medium shirt fits perfect for me. Okay. All right. So you get a medium, okay? Get you a medium or you get you a schmedium if you need a schmedium out here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what fits, man? Hey.
Get that schmedium going on. You see hoodies right there. Let's click on this right here. Short story book publishing. What's going on? Talk about that. Talk about that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's for I have different tabs on that, but it's for a variety of things. People, if they kind of like have a vision, but they're not really a writer, I can help them write a book. So it's a consultation that I do with them, and from their own words, I help them write their book. And then I have editing thing that they could do as well, where I'll just edit that book for them at the end. They feel like their content's good, they're ready. I just edit everything for them and get it. And then I have the entire thing to help them with writing the book from their own words. I edit the book for them, and I help them. So they can choose either one, and on the site they have information about how that's done.
Full Lift Book Publishing. Yeah, I need to write about 10 books, man. So you
man, you better put me to work, man. I might have to forget about that last book, man. You got them 10 books. I'm gonna have to forget about the last book. I ain't gonna have time. It ain't gonna get done. I gotta help.
You good? Because I'm close to 2,000 shows, so the book series is basically about the shows. So
Yes, sir. Hey,
that's at least 10 books right there. 2,000 shows.
that's a lot
You
of
know,
shows. That's a lot of shows, man. Yeah.
a lot of shows, a lot of time, a lot of dedication. Effort. So it's just there. You know, good opportunity. If I wasn't still doing it, I wouldn't have met you. You see how it go?
Hey, that's how it works. The
Yeah.
answer line.
Our ancestors is on the case, boy. They on the case. They worry about who. They worry about the wrong folks on the case. I ain't worried about what them other bastards is doing. I'm worried about if my ancestors on the case. If they sleeping at the wheel, I'm toast.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, you need them, man. You need them.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is Black God Empowerment Month here on Do Not's Radio. So you know, give some advice to the young brothers out there, something that you wish somebody would have told you when you was young, some lessons you had to learn on your own, or some stuff you did pick up along your path and your journey, that you could share with some young people out here, young brothers out here.
I would say, get focused on something that can help our people. Because we need as many brothers as we can working together to fight. We fight. So just, kind of try to get yourself focused on something that can get something done productively for us, and things start going in a different way for you. If it's not going the way that you like, it start going in a different. So that's what I would say. Just focus on something positive that can help our people. Is what I would say.
All right. I love it. Well, can we talk about writing, like the importance of writing? Since you're a writer and a publisher, for young people writing, for people of any age range without people, what's the importance of writing, and should we still be writing and putting out books? Since we got this stigmatism saying we don't read, we heard people say if you want to hide something from one of our people, putting it in the book and all that, and just stuff like that. We still talk about, the importance of reading and the importance of writing.
The importance of reading and writing is extremely important. Our ancestors who have put, the information we need in the book so we can skip steps. You got to read it. You got the destruction of Black civilization. You have the ISIS papers. You have all these books. Our ancestors have already wrote and gave us some answers too. So you got to read. We should know that. Writing is extremely important. It's a way to get your ideas that our people may not be seeing a solution to everyone. So you can get those ideas to everyone. So it's extremely important to continue writing and always writing and reading. Always.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm about to come down to Georgia and see what's going on. Come down and see what's happening.
I'm down here, man. I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think.
Okay. So if you had to pinpoint, direct the message to everybody who picks up your book, anybody who buys your apparel, anybody who comes to you for services, what are some of the takeaways that you want the people who invest in your brand, invest in your vision to take away?
Well, I want them to take away specifically, if I'm helping them publish their book, I want them to take away, hey, this is exactly what I want, and it's something that's going to help me get my message out. So that's how I feel about publishing. I want people to feel I can feel pride, in this and its quality. If I just want to wear it anytime, You know, I want to go and work out. I just want to, you know, chill out. You know, this is my shirt here. You know what I mean? This is my pullover, man. I'm feeling, you know, it's stuff going on. I'm feeling, you know. So, you know, I want them to feel like that when they, you know, get the clothing and things. Was it something else you said also? It was the clothing, the book publishing, said something else.
The books as well. Yeah, from people actually buying the book, reading the book.
That's what we've been talking about. But the book, definitely, I want them to be able to read it and say, "This is something that's going to change my child's mind." I think, to be honest, and I'm not just saying it to say it, I think it will change some adults' minds. Because I think, you know, you definitely want to read the book before you let your children read it and make sure it's all good and all of that. You know, preview it and then read it, and make sure it's all good and all of that. But I want them to get from it, hey, this is going to change my child's mind. They're going to have pride in knowing that they're African, that they're Black. And that pride is going to go into them having self-reliance to create something for their family and then something for their race. So I want them to feel like, hey, my child is going to have pride. And then from there also, it's pretty good vocabulary in there. So if they read it, they're going to be, they may be ahead of some if they can get the words. You know, if the parents can kind of help them with the words and they can get the words, they may be ahead. So I want them to get that their children has pride from the book, that they are learning in intelligence with reading the book, and that they know that they're African from reading the book.
Okay. So, did you plan any virtual reads? Did you link up with anybody who has the book for their families? Is it something that you're doing or something you aspire to do since we're in this kind of, closed situation? And ideally, you would be at all of the spots doing,
Idea, man. That's a great idea. I haven't thought about that, but that's a really great idea. I may do that. It's a great idea.
another way to get the word out. We don't allow any obstacle or anything that is perceived to be an obstacle to be something that'll stop us from doing what we need to do. So we the most adaptable, most flexible, most accommodating people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So we can use some of those characteristics, traits, and skill sets, for our own benefit. You know, our children need to see, especially with this virtual learning situation, everybody's doing remote learning and stuff like that. They see people who don't look like them every single day, and they're reading to them, and they're what do you call it? It's all good job and this and that. They're doing all of this psychological work on them, and they don't look like that. You see what I'm saying? So when they aspire for something good, they see our enemies, and when they aspire for something bad, they see themselves. You see what I'm saying? So this is another chance to tell another story, and to bring the two hemispheres of the mind together. Africans in the diaspora, continental Africans, habits, attitudes, in all of these instances about one another. Whatever our enemy tells us about each other, we act out. You see what I'm saying? So, our attitudes towards Africa, thanks to National Geographic, uh, Wild Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, all of that BS that's going on. This is how they show our motherland. You understand what I'm saying? And then, all these other narratives come in there because of that negative self-talk. So you have a tool, a transformational tool to unite a family and to unite a people. You see what I'm saying? And ancestrally to next generation, So we have a very good tool in your hand, and it's something that I could see a benefit for Africans all over the planet. Everybody needs to support, just like that comment said, because this is a way to decrease the learning curve. There's a lot of conscious people out. It's very trendy, woke, and all of these, other additives. Foundationally, we need some sound things like literacy. You know, you don't even know if your child is literate or not because you're not teaching them, so you don't know if they're literate or not. You know what somebody else is giving them, whatever story that is, that's what they're going to run with. You don't even know if your child can read.
Mm.
The first thing we got is ABCs and counting, and then after that, we give them away.
They don't have
shit in real time. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can teach your child at a young age 3 or 4 languages,
exactly,
and you're content with them knowing how to say ABCs and counting from 1 to 10. It's impossible. They're like their minds, they're there like a sponge. They got devices, and these devices are either teaching them reaffirming your value system or destroying your value system. So it's either working for you or it's being divisive. This is what the device is doing to them. So you have a tool you can put in their hands for them to be able to see themselves and walk through life as the guides that we're supposed to be.
exactly.
So all that for one book, okay? One book and one slogan. A positive affirmation mantra to have in your mind. I'm an African. You understand what I'm saying? Like, who are you? I'm an African. You understand? Like that. There's no what do you call it? Room for error in that. That's an absolute statement. You see what I'm saying? Like that's a declarative statement in the English language. But it's also a positive reinforcement tool in the mind, so you don't get caught in all of this other stuff that's going on. For whomever it applies to. If it don't apply to you, hey, buy the shirt and give it to somebody who it apply to. You understand what I'm saying? Like I got this for you. It's a gift. Like, oh, thank you. You understand what I'm saying? Like I ain't with it, but I know you are. Here you go. So ain't no excuse for nobody out there. Give them a shirt. It's cold out here. The hawk about to be out here pretty soon.
Hey man, you need something to keep it going. Hey, give him something, man. Give him a shirt, man. Give him
Right. But everybody ain't woke. They still celebrating Christmas. Give them Christmas gift.
Hey,
Black Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, we all got steps. As long as you know who the enemy is, it's all right.
Right.
It's all
right. Right. And even if you don't know, he got Brother Eric got a book that'll help you out. Okay, a book that'll help you out. You ain't got to figure it out on your own. You ain't in this by yourself.
We got that.
How to explain this to my children? Who the enemy is? Oh, Eric got a book for you. Come
on, man. Let's flip this thing up, man. We gonna get the teacher, man. Hold on.
Get the teacher. Break it down for him. Give him a little smidgen. Give him a little taste.
Let me see, man. I'm gonna give, because I just can't just read the page. It's like, where is he reading from? He's just coming out of anywhere. But what I'll say is, it talks about African spirituality. If our people are into African spirituality, like I said, if you're into anything and you know who the enemy is, that's your business. But anyway, if you want to teach your children about African spirituality, it talks about Ogun, Oshun. It talks about the Anansi stories. So it does give them something that can separate them from a manipulation mechanism that will keep them from doing for themselves. So yeah, we got it in here for you. If you're trying to get that knowledge of self, if you're trying to know who you are, it's in there. And it's simple, man. You don't have to, go through a lot. You still have to have the readings that you need to read from the ancestors, but it simplifies things, like you said, and it starts early. So you know what you're looking at, you know who you are. And, from there, it's pretty easy to tell who the other people are,
What did you say the age range was again? One more time. You said eight Age 8?
Yes, sir. 8 to 12.
8 to 12. Now, by the time our children are 8, this society that we live in and societies around the world know how many prisons they need to build by the time our children are 8. Our children are going to these institutions because we already sent them to the institutions first. We already sent them to the first prison, school. So they go in that pipeline that they're talking about. That people want to use a lot of fancy words of from school to the prison pipeline. So even if they don't go to prison, they go to work on someone's job. They don't go to work and they benefit from someone else. That's another prison. You see what I'm saying? So this, situation that you have, going on in regards to that, we're shipping them and preparing them from one prison to the next prison to the next prison to the casket. You see what I'm saying? It should be from the school to the casket pipeline because it's a streamlined process that's there. You see what I'm saying? Because of us not having that ability of understanding our identity, hence an identity crisis. So we die in the mind, as Dr. Bobby E. Wright said, peace be upon him, before we die in the physical. Just like the Matrix said, the body can't live without the mind. You see what I'm saying? So this is a tool that's here to combat that, to combat and engage those young minds uh, along this pathway. Before we wrap it up, is there something that you can say to us about this next book that's coming and the last book in the series, like a little hint at the overview in regards to those books?
What I can say is the second edition, it's going to be the characters will be older, so it'll get older and older. So it's going to teach the children responsibility and leadership as it goes on. So those principles are kind of the main principles in each of those books. That's what as they grow older. They're going to have to know how to deal with responsibility and leadership. So they got the identity that they're African, and then now we're talking about how to solve problems within the next few books. So yes, sir. I can't tell them exactly,
Right,
how,
right.
that's a kind of synopsis of what it'll give them.
I would definitely love to have you on for a part 2 and get some people together who actually had the book, who read the book, and what their thoughts were about the book, some of the children's reactions, whatever the case may be, to, kind of capture that so they can give that insight. And we'll do like a book giveaway, maybe like 5 or 10 books. We'll get them, and we can give them away. So I think we'll do that.
Okay,
Do
we
that.
can definitely discuss
And a
that.
couple t-shirts. I ain't getting nobody no hoodie. Okay, a couple t-shirts.
Hey man,
Get your own hoodie.
yeah, man, I gotta agree with you. But I definitely want to do a part 2, brother. So yeah, I'm with it.
All right. So final thoughts as we wrap. Shout outs, acknowledgments. Where to get the book, where to find you, social media, and the like.
All right. So you can get the book on niceypublishing.com. That's NICEY publishing.com. And you can get a shirt. You can get the hoodies on there as well. If you want to do book publishing, you want your book written, because you're not a writer or whatever, you need a little assistance with that, you can find all that information on there as well. You can find me on LinkedIn under Eric N. I don't know if it's like a whole bunch of people with that name, with just the N at the end, but you can find me on LinkedIn as well, and you can find me on Instagram at I Am African. So LinkedIn, Eric N, Instagram, I Am African, and Facebook, Eric Nicey. So just my name.
One last final thought before you go. Give us one of them strong words of encouragement, empowerment, something that we need to know. You understand what I'm saying? Before we close it up.
One thing I would say is, you know, especially in the time that we're in now, things are getting rocky, you know, for us as a people. I don't know if we're seeing it, but things are getting rocky. And we have to listen to the ancestors. The ancestors will guide you to do certain things for your people. And you want to listen to them because they're going to put you on the path where you need to be and what you need to do overall for the race. So I would say there's a time where the ancestors are speaking, and it's right now. So if they speaking to you, you need to listen to what they're saying because it's a serious time right now. But I really appreciate, you know, the invitation to the show, brother. And like I said, you know, part 2, I'm with it. You know, I'm with it.
All right. Definitely loved having you. And we're going to stay in contact, and we're going to make this thing happen. All right? All right, y'all. We out.
All right, now.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them that in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to the
motive
gritty
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.